Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Williams Fitness back again with another video, and I have got Dean the Protein on, aka Dean. Is it LESIAK or how do you say it?
You say it LESIAK, but it's spelled funny on it. It's spelled LESIAK.
Oh, is that what you tell the ladies? It's LESIAK.
It's more like LESIAK.
So obviously you're a 4-time British champion. A multitude of other big shows within the UK. If you could give a brief sort of CV of your bodybuilding career to my fan base or followers, whatever you want to call it, if you wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, sure. Where do you want me to start? Just through bodybuilding or before that?
Just a quick brief. If you were to like say you were reading the back cover of your biography for bodybuilding, what would it say?
Has been.
I'm keeping that in.
Yeah, good. I've competed for 14 years. Very first show I did was Mansfield Classic as a junior. I won that. Got an invite.
2001 was that?
About 2000, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
2002. Got an invite for the finals in the British. I won that as a junior. First British title. And I was 20 at the time. Had about 4 years out of competing. I was doing more martial arts. Got back into competing when I was like 24. And then done the British every year because I was a former British champion. I didn't have to qualify again. And I went on to win 3 other British titles in the light heavies. The UK BFF rules states if you win 3 of them, you get a pro card. But for many reasons, I never got one.
Okay. Well, now you've brought it up. Why?
Oh, you want me to go straight in on that?
You brought it up, brother.
Okay. Well, I don't care. I have no shame. Some people will care. They're going to hate this. Okay, so basically, in their rules, if you win a British title 3 times, you apply for a pro card. And they've got a little get-out clause, just if they don't like you, that it's down to their discretion. But if you have to win the overall. So back then, basically, only one person in the whole of the UK would get a pro card per year. So the very best of the best. Like in America, they're giving them out bloody sweets to me. But it's all changed now. So back then, it's extremely difficult to get a pro card. But in a way, it's good because if you got one, you knew you was the best of the best you had to be. So I won it 3 times. And they denied me the pro card. I think the year before that, I got invited to do the Arnold in America. And the main guy who was running the UK BFF, Bill Turney, he invited me, sat next to me on the plane. I went there. I messed the prep up. I didn't look my best, but I came 9th in the Arnold. I was chuffed with that. Maybe could have cracked top 5.
Which Ohio?
Yeah, Ohio one. That was, I think it was 2011. So yeah, I messed it up a little bit, but I still managed to get 9th. So I was happy. First show abroad. And then the next year, I did the one in Madrid. But anyway, so I won the British 3 times. And do you know Simon Fan, who runs fitness, Ultimate Fitness in Birmingham? Yeah. He used to run the Temple back in the day with Dorian. But yeah, so he's got a gym, Ultimate Fitness, where I train. He's a good friend of mine. He came with me, helped me just babysit me in my first show abroad. And so we sat on the plane with Bill on the way there, on the way back. Everything was great. And then that year, we had basically Aaron Lambo.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Yep. Everyone knows Lambo. Very good friend of mine. Well, I say friend, I use that word loosely. we go way back. I actually first met him. We both did the Madrid show together at the Arnold Madrid. That's when I first met Lambo. We became great friends from then. So back then, I Aaron was doing his own thing. He had a gym, and he wanted to bring back some of the old school athletes and do like just seminars all around the UK, like a UK tour.
Yeah.
We had Tom Platz, we had Samir, we had Lee Priest. It was just phenomenal, mate. Hearing the stories like with Arnold and this and that, and some of the leg sessions with Lee and Tom, and that, it was amazing. But anyway, as you all know about Lee Priest, he's a lifetime banned athlete with IFBB.
Legend, Lee is. He doesn't give a fuck, does he?
He doesn't give, because he has his own opinions and he likes to say them out loud. They never got on with the FBB. He got banned so many times, they let him back. He got banned, they let him back, until eventually that was it. They had enough. He was banned for life. So Bill, who was running the UK BFF, hates Lee with a passion for some reason. I don't know, but he wants to just. I mean, this was years ago when they banned him. But even today, they go out of their way to try and fuck anything up with Lee. So Lee's come over, he's doing this this tour. Bill heard about it, started ringing up all the gyms that Aaron was going to with his team, and basically saying, if you have Lee at your gym, then you cannot associate yourself with the UK BFF anymore. Simon at the time, it's petty, you know what I mean? This is the lengths to go to. Wow. Simon at the time was putting on shows for the UK BFF. He just brought back the what show was it? Big Pro show in the UK. Grand Prix. Yeah. He just brought that back. He spent like crazy money. He won't mind me saying about £250,000 of his own money out of his pocket. He put in to put that show on. There was him, Neil Hill, and James Collier that Simon put all the money in, and it was an amazing show. Yeah. We had Rolly Winkler. There was some big names. I can't even remember half of them. But yeah, he went all out, done it in the Excel Centre. It cost an absolute fortune, and as you can imagine, he made a huge loss. Yeah. Pretty much lost all of his money. But Simon loves bodybuilding, and if he can do anything to give to bodybuilders, he does. I mean, he's gutted, lost money, but it is what it is. He learned a big lesson from it.
Yeah.
But you can imagine what he's doing for the UK BFF. He's promoting his shows. So he's about to have Lee at the gym. We've sold out tickets. There's about 100 people at the gym waiting to see Lee. And Bill rings the gym. He's like, "Hi, Simon." He's like, "Yeah, you okay?" He said, "Oh, I just heard a little rumor that you're having Lee Priest at your gym." He's like, "Yes. It's no secret. I've been promoting it for the last 6 months. It's been all over the internet. Like, is that a problem?" And Bill's like, "Well, you do know he's a lifetime banned athlete." And Simon's like, "Well, what's that got to do with my gym, my business? We're doing a seminar." So he's basically just told him what he told everybody else and said, if you have Lee carry on and do this seminar, you can no longer associate yourself with UK BFF. So Simon's like, "Well, he's on his way here. People are waiting. I'm not going to let them down. I'm sorry, like, you didn't communicate any earlier, but it's going to go ahead." And that was that. Simon was chucked out. He wasn't allowed to associate with the UK BFF anymore. So no skin off his nose. Is that a bad thing, though? It saved him a lot of money. I was going to say. Yeah.
Long term, he's done himself a favour.
Yeah. So after all that happened, I won the third British title, and that's when Simon asked Bill if I could get the pro card, and he basically said no, come up with some bullshit excuse. So I was okay, whatever. I'll come back next year, bigger and better, and they can't deny me of it. Yeah. So yeah. I did, and I won again. I won the fourth British title. So basically, if you win 3 times, you get a pro card. So winning 4 is unheard of. Nobody has 4 British titles. So I won the 4th one, and I went back, and I said, "Can I apply?" And he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to sorry, this is even worse. The first time he said, "Can Dean have his pro card?" He turned around and went, "Dean who? Who's Dean LESIAK?"
Fuck off.
It's like, you bastard, I sat in the plane next year all the way to the house.
Is that what he said?
Even knew me. Yeah. So the fourth time he said, we need to take it to a committee in Europe. I said, well, that's not true because he's in charge of the UK. But anyway, he denied me again. Former judge, I mean at this point, with this whole thing with Lee Priest and everything going on, a lot of the judges that was on the panel had enough and the way Bill was treating athletes and all sorts of. I'm one of a million stories like this. It's crazy. So a lot of the judges left and went elsewhere or did their own thing. But I don't know if you know Warren Dyson, who runs Emporium Gym. He was the former judge.
Is that Birmingham, is that? Emporium?
Yes, Birmingham again, yeah. So anyway, he turns around to me and he says, Dean, I don't know what you're doing, mate, because like you're never going to get a pro card as long as Bill's got anything to do with it. He says, I know what he's like, and you're friends with Lee and Lambo and Simon. He said, you associate with these people, he's not going to allow it. I was like, come on, they're not going to be that petty, are they? So after the fourth time, it's coming up to the next year, and I was umming and ahhing, shall I compete again? It's costing me a lot of money. I'm putting my life, my heart, my soul. I mean, any competitors out there know how tough it is to get to that kind of condition. And at that level, you're killing yourself. There's some big sacrifices to make. It's hard to hold down a relationship. Or
like we said before we started recording, it's the cost as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. So all of my money, like it was sometimes you're either going to eat or pay the bills because it costs that much. So coming up to the year, do I start dieting? Do I do the show? And I heard all these rumors about Bill's never going to allow me this pro card because of this, because of that. So I thought I'd put it to the test. So Lee was over. We all went for food. There was me, Simon Fan, my old training partner, Randy Belote, great bodybuilder, Lambo, and Lee Priest. So we had food, asked the waiter, can we have a picture? So I'm going to put this on social media and see what they say. So I posted this picture, just sat at the table eating food, and I just bigged everybody up saying, like, isn't it amazing when your childhood heroes like Lee Priest become your friends? Whereas people like Simon, who gives so much to bodybuilding, Randy, awesome training partner, even Aaron Lambo, as much as a gobshite he is, he's a true loyal friend. And I posted that on social media. It wasn't even a day, 1 or 2 days went by. I got a message on my phone. It wasn't directly from Bill, from his phone, but it was from Bill, via Bill, from somebody else, basically saying, how dare you post yourself on social media, associate yourself with people like Lee Priest. And they was basically telling me to take the picture off.
Oh, fucking hell.
And I just replied back. This was the moment, like, where that was it for me. I just replied back and I said, okay, I've been loyal to because their rules back then, you could only compete with UK BFF. If you go anywhere else, they ban you or bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a pro athlete, they don't pay you pay them.
Yeah.
So crazy, isn't it? Even when you get a pro card, you still have to
pay them each month. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what does professional mean? Doesn't that mean you get paid for your profession? In bodybuilding, you've got to pay to be a pro.
Bodybuilding is the brokest sport ever. If you want to lose money quickly, become a bodybuilder.
Yeah. So basically, I just text one back saying, I've been loyal for 14 years to the UK BFF. I've won 4 times. You deny me of a pro card, and I'm still loyal to your federation until the day you tell me who I can and can't be friends with. And that's the day when I walk away. I didn't get a response, but that's when I just left it as that. And I said, I don't want to have anything to do with that federation again, and I'm done competing.
Have you spoken to Lee about this? What's Lee said?
Oh yeah. He's just.
Does he know what the beef is with this guy?
It just they're all on his case, mate, from IFBB. He's pissed them all off at some point.
I don't even get what he did, though. Like, realistically, what's he actually done?
He spoke his mind.
Out of turn. That's Lee, isn't it?
Well, said things that they didn't like, and as an IFBB athlete, he's not allowed to say those things about them or whatever bullshit. But I mean, I'm the same. Me, Lambo, and Lee are all very similar in that way, and that's why we piss a lot of people off. But I'd rather be told the truth to my face than somebody licking my ass and lied to behind my back. So I think he was competing or doing some guest spots and earning money in other federations, and they banned him for that or some petty bullshit. He's trying to earn a living for his family. Do you know what I mean? But, I mean, being at the very top, they earn some decent money, but it's still a hard living. They rely purely on their sponsorships and getting seminars and doing all kinds of shit. So
that's the thing, and obviously now he's retired.
Yeah, if you're not in the top 5, you get pennies. I remember, Sean Tavernier. Sean, amazing UK athlete, 212. He won his pro card. He competed at the Olympia, and he came 5th on the Olympia stage in the 212. I mean, that's an amazing achievement. He's got an incredible physique. And he said it cost him, I don't know, $2-3 grand with the flights, the accommodation, and everything. And he won $500 for coming 5th best in the world. And people saying, when are you going to compete against Sean? He says, I can't afford to. So he handed in his pro card, went with the PCA Federation, and a lot of money with them.
The thing is, Sean Ray did an interview the other day with Valuetainment, I think they're called, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And basically, he was saying in that interview, way back when, he was lobbying for the revenue that people are putting forward to shows to be filtered down a lot better. So rather than keep putting the #1 prize money up, it stays at that. So if it's, $250,000, 400 grand, whatever the show may be, it stays at that. But the more money that gets pumped into it filters down better.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, that, like, say, $500, and he didn't even take any metal home. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, 212's really got shit on about them. But even in the open class, back then, if you're coming outside the top 3, you're not getting a lot. If you're outside the top 5, you're getting pennies.
Yeah.
I mean, you come like 10th best in the world. You're lucky to get $1,000. I mean, it doesn't cover their blood works with the doctors, let alone the shit that they have to do. It's crazy. So you know what I mean? It's ridiculous sport, if you call it a sport.
Who got you into bodybuilding then?
Oh my God, I should hunt him down and kill him.
Was it like a case of, I mean, for me, it was like growing up, it was like, I started probably about 11, 12 with my Argos weights and watching.
Yeah, I had the same.
And all that kind of shit. Yeah.
10 of these, 10 of them every single day.
And then you were done. That's me done for the day. Friday night, just doing arms.
Yeah.
So who was you, like, what actually like inspired you to go from like lifting to like, right, I actually want to be a bodybuilder?
Okay, so it all started off from having a really shitty, messed up childhood, basically. And I'm sure you see this, I see the patterns in anyone successful or done anything amazing. You see it really a lot in sports and bodybuilders, powerlifters, shit like that, especially fighters, that they've been through some horrific, horrible shit. And I think you need to build the kind of mentality that it takes to be able to put yourself through to get that kind of condition or to achieve at that level, because you can't be normal and like kill yourself on these diets and put yourself through this. Your whole body shuts down. It's not normal. It's not fun. So to be able to do that and even say you enjoy doing that, you've got to be a bit messed up in the head. So a lot of these, there's a lot of insecurities in the fitness industry, and because people got into fitness because they've been bullied or all kinds of shit going on. And I'm not saying it necessarily physically. had abuse or hurt that way.
Yeah.
But they got to gone through some shit, either physically or mentally. And it might have been just because they're the way they see themselves in life, and they punish themselves to try and make themselves better. But for myself, I mean, I'm very open about this, and I never used to be years back. But I find the more you can talk about this now, the more maybe you can reach out and help others going through the same kind of shit. But when I was a kid, our dad, there's 5 of us, there's 4 boys and 1 girl. So our dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't a dad to us back then. He'd be pissed up. Most weeks he'd come home, smash the house up, and we had to sit and just pull up with it. If we got in the way, we'd get a slap. And then he'd beat my mom up and rape her, and like we was around, had to see this kind of shit going on a weekly basis. So my older brother at the time, he kind of got the brunt, because when he was around, he was old enough to try and stand up to him. So they was always fighting. If we got in the way, we got a slap. So when my mom finally got brave enough and got him out the house, things got a little bit better. But just going for that kind of trauma as a kid, you can imagine it was tough at home. We didn't have any money, so we didn't get fed much. I was a really skinny, little timid, scared kid. Like, as I started getting a little. How old were
you then?
Oh, this is like from when I was born up to, I must have been about 12, 13, maybe even 14.
And it went on from when you were born right up?
Oh, yeah. All our life, yeah. It got progressively worse. So I don't believe he was a bad person when my mom met him. She must have fallen in love with him for a reason. But whatever went along in their journey, he turned to alcohol, and it really turned him into a bad person. But anyway, that was his story. My mom finally got rid of him, got him out. So as I was growing up, I always wanted to be bigger, stronger, learn to fight, just to defend myself and my loved ones. So when I was young, I think really going through that kind of abuse really helped me mentally. It made my mindset so ridiculously strong that when we was at school, we got pushed into sports. I was the little tiny skinny kid. I was the runt. But I was pushed into running, and at home I was running away a lot. I used to run everywhere. So I just kind of excelled in that. Even though I was this skinny little kid, I would never give up. So doing like cross country, 400 meters, I became champion of cross country 400 meters, and even the district champion, being a skinny kid. You're like, can you put that down to genetics or hard work or what? It was pure mindset. Yeah. I was a little skinny kid. There's no way I should be able to beat these kids. But that kind of age, you're pushing your body to the extreme. Something hurts, a kid's going to give up. He's going to start walking. Like, don't put yourself that stupid. I had this mindset, like I could not give up no matter what. I'd be sitting on the floor, crawling, but I had to cross that line. And that pushed me. So
how did you mentally like manage? Because I'm not trying to like go into too much detail with your past, but just funny if there's I've obviously got a younger audience as well in my demographic. It starts from like 16 right up to about 28. So what mentally at the age of 12, if you can think back, sort of processes did you have to like sort of overcome almost? Because obviously seeing what you've seen, and having that sort of interaction with your father, did you think that was like a normal thing in everybody in your friends' households? Did you know that was very unique to you? And then how did you sort of overcome that? And was sport something you sort of threw yourself into? And when you say like you were punishing yourself, did you find, and I've noticed this a lot with a few of my friends, did you find you were pushing yourself hard in sport because it was almost like the equivalent of self-harming?
Definitely. I was about to get onto that. So I used to self-harm a lot when I was a kid. I got a few scars which are not so visible anymore, but I'd cut myself, and then when you can see cuts or scars, people will like say something.
Yeah.
So that became a problem because I was embarrassed about the fact that I was doing it. I just felt worthless and I didn't want to live. I had suicidal thoughts at that kind of age. And when I pushed into the sports, when the first time that I won, I was rewarded for the first time in my life. I felt significant. So every human has 6 needs, and you will always find a way to get these 6 needs. One of those needs is to feel significant. Some people will cover themselves in tattoos and be the significant one, or piercing, push their body till they become massive and muscular and they stand out. So this was the first time I felt significance. They cheered, they gave me a medal, I got this trophy. I mean, here we go. Here's my first ever trophy, cross country. And that's the one I'm most proud of out of all my trophies, because the first time in my life I felt significance. And I really liked that feeling.
Yeah.
And it kind of became addictive. So the running went on, and I got a little bit older. A good friend in the family used to do a lot of martial arts. And all I wanted to do was get bigger, stronger, and learn to fight. So I started going to martial arts with him. He used to do a lot of Thai boxing. He'd done all kinds of stuff. So we did a lot of Thai boxing together. We went through the camps together. He progressed and done all his grading, got to Tempcon and became an instructor. So we used to spar on that. I mean, he was the instructor. He was like 35, 36, and I was like 16, 17 years old at the time. And we used to spar, and I just had this aggression and this go in me that he made me have these massive 18-ounce gloves, and he had these little tiny mitts, and I'd still bag him out. And I supported him and went through his class, and then he put me into fighting. So that's when my second trophy came along. The Thai boxing ones. Had a few into clubs and won them. It was just kind of that mindset again, pushing yourself beyond what a normal person could.
Yeah.
That whatever I focused it on, I kind of just really pushed into it and done really well at. So it was actually what got me into bodybuilding. Is the gym where he used to teach his classes was like a proper bodybuilding gym, old school, and we'd have the separate hall where we did the Thai boxing. The 2 guys that run it, the one guy was an older guy. His name is Jeff Collins. He was a photographer and one of the judges back in the day for UK BFF. Anyone who was anyone back then, he's done photo shoots for. He used to do a lot for the Flex Mag. So like Dorian, before he was a British champion, he's done like Lee Hanley, Bertil Fox, Tom Platt, all the old school. He's an incredible photographer. So he got me into photography as well. But anyway, I was doing a Thai boxing class the one day, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing with weights. I do my plastic weights at home like you did. And me and this young lad used to go to a big gym and just to train legs once a week, push ourselves to the extreme. So legs were always my foundation. So I was doing his Thai boxing class. I came out, and this guy Jeff, he collared me. He was like, "Excuse me, can I have a chat?" I was like, well, "Yeah, of course." So I was like 18 at the time, and he said, "Bloody hell, you've got bigger legs than half the guys in the gym there." He said, "Have you ever thought about competing?" I was like, "What's competing?" He said, "Oh, you're not bodybuilding. I've seen the magazines." I was like, "What?" Like, and guys stood in tiny little pants all oiled up going, "Look at me." I was like, "Nah, I'm not interested in that."
Patrick Moore said the same thing yesterday. Said the exact same thing.
Who's that?
Patrick
Yeah,
Moore.
it's crazy. Patrick Moore. Amazing, yeah. So I was like, "Nah, I'm not interested at all." It's like, it's a bit, it's not for me. And kept going to the Thai boxing class, and I got to know this guy quite well, and we became good friends. And he kept going on about this competitive bullshit. And it's like, I think you've got good genetics. You've got really nice muscle bellies. You do really well. And eventually I gave in to him. So I just thought, this guy is a judge. He knows what he's talking about. Like, maybe I should just listen to what he says. So I agreed to sit down with him, have a good chat. And he taught me the basics of dieting, the points of nutrition, protein, carbs, fats, vitamins. He was big on vegetables and this and that. So he gave me a little diet program. and he showed me the ropes in the gym and said, like, you need to push the failure. I mean, he's like, he doesn't train himself. He's skinny, fat kind of look, but he really knew his stuff. Like, he's never practiced what he preached.
Yeah.
So he would take me around, he'd push me on legs till I'm sicking up on the floor, I can't crawl, and then I'd be like, get back in, another 10, sick up some more, get back in, till I couldn't stand up, and then I'd be like, oh, thanks, Jeff. He used to laugh about that. Like, he didn't have a clue the pain that I was going through, because he'd never been through it himself. But I was loving the results I was getting. As obviously then I started eating properly, and I was pushing my body to the extreme.
This was all still natural at that point, yeah.
Yeah. So I started growing and growing. And I remember when I was Thai boxing, I was like 9 stone, and I said to my instructor, I want to be 10 stone next year. He's like, you will. But the next year I was 12.5 stone or something. So, and I never really put fat on. Never. It was quite a struggle for me to get fat, and I never really ate crappy foods. So he was pushing me, and then he sat me down, and we had the little chat like, if you're serious about competing, I think you can do really well. You're making great progress, but we're going to put you into this federation, the proper one where you can get a pro card. And if you're going to go into that, then you're going to have to go down that dark road and take some steroids, because they're all on it. And that has to be your decision. He was very fair about it. He explained the ins and outs. And I was like, no hesitation. I was like, I want to be fucking Superman. If I can have the Captain America injection, I'm there, first in the queue. Give it me. So I was very lucky at that point to have him to teach me what's healthy, what's not.
The protocols. So
he taught me properly, like how to inject, how to do everything, and be sensible, never take high dosages, run courses, come off clean out. So I remember my very first course. It was 1 shot of Deca a week. That was 200 milligram.
Okay.
And so 200 milligram of Deca a week. And do you remember P5s? Those really P5s, really mild tablets. Kind of, you put the women on them because they're very low androgenic. They're kind of like the equivalent of a bit like an Anavar.
Yeah.
So I think I was on 3 P5s a day and 1 shot of Deca a week, and I banged on about 2 stone within this 12 week course. I mean, obviously the steroids had a great impact, but it wasn't. The gear was the fact that I started taking gear. First time I'd ever been in my body. I was eating 10 times the amount of food, and I was training hard.
How old were you then?
That's when I was 19. I took the first
19.
course.
So obviously you're still not even at your genetic potential until you're like at least 21 for your test level. So you still have all that going on as well.
Just started training properly, so everything just responded, and my body just sucked it all up. So we did that 1 course, and then had a little break, and then we dieted down where I can't remember the second course. It was mild, but like I think we did like a bit of Winstrel, Anavar, test propionate.
Yeah. How often were you doing test?
Nothing crazy. Sorry?
How often were you doing the prep?
Every probably 2 days.
Yeah.
It was quite a small. It was a lot bigger course than the previous one, but it was a mild course.
Still stepped it up quite a bit though, didn't you? Really?
Yeah. So like a shot of test prep every 2 to 3 days. A bit of a Winstrel shot and a bit of Anavar with some Novadex. And back then, I mean, this guy was knowledgeable, but he lacked a lot in comp knowledge. So I didn't have a clue. I listened to exactly what he said, and we went on this chicken and broccoli diet. It was glorious. I did 14 or 16 weeks where I ate nothing but chicken and broccoli and lots of water. So it was boiled chicken as well. It wasn't a lot of seasoning.
Brother.
So, at this time, I was working in a factory or something. I cycled everywhere. Get up in the morning, I'd cycle. I'd work all day. I'd cycle back, and then I'd cycle somewhere else. I'd cycle to the gym, train, cycle back home, collapse, die. prep my food. I did that for 14 weeks on zero
No
carbs.
carbs at all for 14 weeks?
Just chicken and broccoli. So
I bet your CNS was absolutely
yeah, I mean, knowing what I know these days, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to do that. But I wouldn't say I have great genetics, but I've got better than average. If I do everything right, I tend to grow muscle fast. If I don't eat, it drops off me. Luckily, doing that diet, being on that bit of gear at that age, most people would lose muscle, and I kind of held the muscle that I had.
Yeah.
I went a little flat and stringy, but I got into reasonable condition. I mean, most people would end up burning muscle and not being able to get the condition that I did.
Yeah.
But the best thing about that diet is it taught me massive discipline. So, you know how shit the diet was or anything. 14 weeks of eating nothing but chicken and broccoli really, really tests your mental strength.
Was that for your first show for was it Mansfield show? Was that for that show, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I
won that anyway.
20, so from 19 to 20, that's what I did 1 year's training, prepped for the show, and then I done the Mansfield. I won that, got best presentation award, because he used to drill me on posing like half an hour every day, going through all your compulsory poses. I hated it, but it paid off big time when I got on stage. Like, I remember 1 year competing and I didn't practice posing. When I got on stage, it was hard to hold it. You see people like with their bellies hanging out, breathing out their ass, sweating. Like, if you practice that much, it's easy.
That's the thing. Judges will pick up between the mandatories, like you're transitioning. They did it on Phil with the whole bubble gut thing. When he was moving from pose to pose, that's when the gut came out, and obviously that's when those pictures got snapped, and then Louis Marco, being the arsehole he is, rinsed Philly on the internet.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, being at that kind of pro level, you should know that they're going to do that. But for him to be that fucking petty, I mean, that last show that Phil lost, in my eyes, he blew everybody away again. Yeah. I mean, Sean beat him on his midsection all day long, but Phil smashed him on every single body part. Yeah. You can't win a show on your stomach. Why ain't the fucking the bikini guys fucking Mr. Olympia? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So that was a good thing about having Jeff. He like, being a judge, he drilled the shit out of me and taught me all that. Never let your belly come out, sucking your belly in, and all everything, just getting that X shape. And I was lucky I had wide shoulders and I always had good quads. So
you've got ridiculous, like your delts and traps. I've had a look at some of your stuff on your Instagram and I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, is this photoshopped? Like, Jesus Christ. I even seen an interview you did next to Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler looked like your little brother.
Yeah, I'm good at camera angles, you see.
Oh, like Craig Goliath.
Camera angles and lighting. See, that was the other thing Jeff taught me, was photography. So I picked up the tricks of lighting and camera angles, how to look good.
And the right shadows.
Yeah. But I mean, I was blessed with my shoulders and quads responded very well.
Yeah.
But then it swings in roundabouts. My chest was atrocious. I mean, my lower chest was non-existent in my younger years. But that really pushed me to really rethink my training.
Yeah.
I've done a billion different methods on how to get my chest to respond, and it has massively. It's never going to be a great body part of me, but to how it's come along from where it was is massive. Like, and I just had to learn a million techniques. One of the best things I did.
Go on, sorry.
Sorry?
No, go on, sorry.
I was going to say, one of the best things I did was train with Ben Bukowski once. We had a chest session, and that really helped me to rethink my whole training. Because I'm a Ronnie Coleman fan, just smash the weights, heavy, and everything's heavy. And
when did you train with Ben?
We did a tour when I was with 5% in America. He was one of the athletes we got to train with.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did with Ben, we did one with Victor Martinez, Mike O'Hearn. But then the guy was weird. He got yeah. He probably is just 50 IU and GH. Something's not tested. You know what I mean? He could just be an absolute genetic freak. The guy, he's like 50 and he was strong as fuck.
To be fair, his physique never changes. He's
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy and go, yeah, he's banging this, he's banging that because he looks that good. You never know. There's a couple of amazing freaks in the world, and he was an awesome guy. Like, he was strong as fuck for his age, and you know what I mean? It was like 50 or something, and he's banging out 3 plates aside shoulder press beyond the neck free bar. It's incredible. I never done free bar beyond my neck before, but I had to do it just to beat him on a couple of reps. Stupid, I nearly ripped my fucking shoulder off, but I beat him.
Ego lifted, yeah.
Yeah, right. Everyone's got that bit of ego. I try to be sensible and smart, but in the moment, it just all goes out the window.
So obviously we've touched on steroids. Not to be like the arsehole in the room. If you could go back to your younger self and give advice on steroids, and I'm not doing that, oh, you shouldn't take them, because I've taken my fair share of shit. What advice would you give yourself with regards to your protocol? Would you have changed your cycle? Would you have tried it a little bit later on, maybe? I mean,
you know, I'm a big believer in we have to go through what we've been through to get to where we are now. So whenever I get asked this question, anything in my life, I always say I would never change a thing, because every fuck up and mistake and stupid thing I'd done, I learned massively from it. Yeah. And I like to think I'm quite a wise guy now, and that's purely from being a fucking retard all my life and making that many mistakes. So it's all there for a reason. Yeah. I mean, I see back then my diet was all wrong, but it was a big learning curve. That diet was wrong, but it helped my discipline in dieting. Every diet after that chicken and broccoli shit was easy because I had flavor. I had seasonings and salts, and do you know what I mean? I was like, wow, I can have a bit of flavor on my boiled chicken breast. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But it was all there for a reason. And I had a good teacher with the gear side of things. Yeah. I've never took big dosages. I've always cleared out my system, get regular blood checks. And I mean, we spoke to him about Dr. Khan. Yes. You may have him on the show. This guy's phenomenal. There's nothing he can't tell you about blood work.
So just for those who don't know, Dr. Khan works in a blood work center called, is it Transform?
Yeah, Transform Now.
Yeah, Transform Now. I'll put a link in the description if anyone wants to check them out. Basically, like people like Dean, athletes, pro athletes, bodybuilders, pretty much anybody from any walk of life goes there to have their blood work done, profiled, and they'll tell, Dr. Khan, I presume, just sits with them and goes through any issues or.
He goes through a lot, yeah. I mean, just a lot of celebrities. Anybody, he gets all kinds. But he's very clued up on the athlete and the drug user. Whereas you go to a doctor, anything that flags up on the red zone, they just send you straight off to a specialist. Oh, you got kidney failure or something. They tell you the worst shit. Where Dr. Khan, I think he's got something like the biggest paperwork on record of the amount of people's bloods on record in the world. So there's nothing he can't tell you about bloods, and he keeps track of everything, especially with the athlete side of things. And I mean, something as simple as me and my missus got our bloods together. She's Mauritius. So her blood, it was great. She's very healthy, just like me. And it came up, her cholesterol was slightly elevated in touching the red zone. A normal doctor would be like, oh, we need to look at that, send you to a specialist. Yeah. But he was just like, you're in the Asian category. Out of all of my blood working patients, I give them a 15 to 20% increase because Asians have higher cholesterol genetically.
Oh, so he basically profiled her. Because it's such a big database of information, he can just, you know, at a glance go, right, okay, it's high, but
Massively,
don't worry, sort of thing.
So he wouldn't flag that, and then like a user or somebody who's taking a shitload of protein or hitting the gym hard, it's going to come back in their bloods that their creatine levels are a bit higher or whatever. That would be like, oh, you need to get your kidneys checked and shit like that. But he says that that's normal in an athlete. It's nothing to worry about. It's because you're eating so much protein or you're taking gear or whatever. So he's very good at being able to see that out.
He has, obviously you got put me in touch with him this morning. I've spoke to him today, and he's invited me up to go on his podcast because he's got a podcast room he's set up, hasn't he? Yeah, I am definitely up for doing that because I think it'd be very informative, not just for me, because I think I'll learn from it personally. So for selfish reasons, I kind of want to go, but I think for content as well, because I think that's the point a lot of people miss, is they'll take the gear and sometimes, I mean, I know so many guys that don't even do PCT. They act like it's not even worth, you know, the 40 to 80 quid, whatever it's going to cost, whether it's Nova, whatever they're running. But yeah, I think like something like that, especially with somebody like you say who's got this huge database and he's so informed.
He's so clued up. He's so clued up with it all. I mean, I get my bloods regular with him. And it's just important. I mean, if you're an athlete, any kind of level, if you're taking gear, you should get regular blood work. Because, I mean, people would just abuse the shit out of gear. And a lot of them just, I mean, it's so common now. You got kids going in the gym a month later, they're banging trembolone and all kinds of shit. And it's really harsh on the system. It's just a thing to do now. They don't see any consequence. They don't have the information or the knowledge. So when you talk to somebody like Dr. Khan, and he goes through everything and he pull up some of the blood tests. I mean, he's very private and confidential, but he was showing me, without any names, people's bloods they've come in and they're banging like, God knows, 3, 4, 5,000 milligram a week. And they've been on it for like a year non-stop. And they cruise on like 500-600 milligram. It's crazy. I mean, my course, I try and keep them short, and I have a good, at least a time off of what I've had on, if not longer.
Blast, yeah.
But I've never done cruises. If I'm off, I clear my system out.
Okay, yeah.
If I'm on, I do 400 to 600 milligram maximum. That's it, a week, and I get great
test level or
of everything. Everything. I don't touch tablets anymore. I mean, here's a little story. When we went to Dr. Khan, he did my bloods. First time he did them, he sent them off. And I've been on steroids on and off for 20 years, well, more or less. My first cycle I was 19, I'm now 38. So they sent him off, and he said, this is Dean, showed him a picture. And the guy was like, you've got the bloods mixed up. There's no way this is his bloods. I've never seen an athlete at this level to have bloods this good. And basically, I'm extremely healthy with my diet all year around. I'm very active. And the cycles, like I say, I do 400 to 600 milligram and I have a big clean out. And a lot of the time, I don't need a PCT because my body kicks straight back in because it's been so low and I haven't been on long. Yeah. If I've done a course for a competition and it's gone a little bit higher, or I've been on for 14 weeks, I'll have a 3-4 month clear out, and then I would PCT properly, get my whole system back to normal. So I just go by my blood work, and my body is, as people say, what do I need for a PCT? I don't fucking know unless I see your blood work. Like, I don't know how much gear you've been banging. I don't know how your body's responding. Your genetics are different. Some people kick back quicker than others. And people are just like, oh, you need this amount of HCG, that amount of Clomid. It's just standard across the board. You can't give somebody a PCT without...
I'm not going to lie. The first time I did my PCT, I swear to God, on my little boy's life, I went on Google, and I tell you what my first cycle was. I think for most people, obviously not yourself, my first cycle was Dianabol. Didn't run any PCT, and I was pyramiding my Dianabol up to 8 a day, and then back down. I got through hundreds of these fucking.
How old was you then?
I did 14 weeks.
Yeah, how old was you on this?
When I first started, I think I was 17. And remember the little pink ones?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, the
Little
little 50p's. Yes.
Yeah.
I used
They
to
were good
put a
then.
vitamin C tub, so my mum couldn't tell what they were.
You get out of that big tub of like 1,000 in the tub or something.
So they just
That lasted you a week, didn't it?
Yeah. So then what I'd do, mate, it was a nightmare. It got to a point where I was splitting them throughout the day because I just couldn't. It was like trying to pop Skittles. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And they're so small, and it's just a little tablet. You think nothing of it, do you? Just,
What's that? And then I was having, no, tell a lie, I bought some milk thistle from Holland and Barrett.
That solves all the problems. You got kidney failure, but milk thistle, that's the one.
That's the one.
And sort it out.
Like your GP will give you that prescription for milk thistle. So then my second cycle, injectable cycle, it was just Sus and Deca. A couple of pens every 3 to 4 days. And then one of my friends in the gym, very close friend, he was like, are you coming to the end of your cycle now, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, what are you doing for PCT? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, your PCT. I was like, I don't take that. He's like, no. I was like, I'm on Sus and Deca, mate. And he's like, no, your PCT. I'm like, I don't know what the brand is, mate. I don't know what you're on. No, post-course therapy you have to take. And he was like, going through all the protocols of PCT. And I was like, nah, I don't need that. You sure? And he was like, yeah. So I get Zoom. I'm thinking, fuck, I need to do this PCT thing that he's talking about. Goes on Google images. A graph comes up, PCT, Sus and Deca, take that. I was like, right, rings up my mate. I need some Nolvadex or whatever, Clomid.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be better than doing nothing, but you can't know exactly what your body's going to need without actually looking at your blood work. It's crazy. And you got like, yourself, what did you say, you were 17? I had some kid not long ago, he was 15 or 16. I do the questions and answers on Instagram. Yeah. And he asked me, what should be my first cycle? Well, I'm 15 years old, blah, blah, blah. And I was just put back, what the fuck? I posted a picture of a push bike and said, the only fucking cycling you should be doing is on a push bike. I was like, what are you doing? 15 years old and these kids in the gym are looking to bang some tren and fucking naps and shit. It's crazy. That's how the industry's gone. Don't get me started on the bikini girls banging Anavar and 50 milligram Anavar, which are really D-ball or.
I've seen that as well. You're getting a bit fucking fluffy around the delts there, sweetheart.
Do you know what I mean? She comes in the gym with a full-on beard. Right, mate. I'm doing a bikini class.
Rowan Adams apple.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just fucking train? Stop looking on YouTube at these fucking kickbacks and 2 kilo bands. Squat some fucking heavyweight. Oh no, I don't want to get big and manly. I'm doing a bikini. Well, what the fuck are you taking steroids for then? It's crazy. It's like unbelievable.
I've known guys that have been using injectables just to recover, just because they don't want to feel sore. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh, I've had guys like taking steroids and they don't go to the gym. They just want to put some weight on. So you just put you're on the piss every night. You got fucking gyno hanging out here because the aromatization's through the roof of all the alcohol they're drinking. They don't even go to the gym. They put 2 stone on. They're like, yeah, I'm massive, I'm hinch. No, you're just a fat sack of shit with loads of bloated water from all the amount of side effects you've got.
I can remember the first time I had gyno. I freaked out. I was ringing my mate and I was like, mate, there's something going on. Like, I'm getting boobs. And he's like, calm down. Right, what I'll do, I'll get you some, what was it? Is it tamoxifen or letrozole?
Yeah, Novadex, tamoxifen, or Arimidex.
Yeah. He's like, I'll get you some of them. It'll be gone in a few days. And I'm freaking out thinking, no, I've got boobs. I couldn't wear my tight gym top because it was just got puffy nipple syndrome going on.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was lucky I never really suffered. I kept my dosages low, and I don't think I was that susceptible. I had the one side slightly got a little sore, but I always used to run Arimidex if it ever got sore. When I got shredded for a comp, it was a bit visible for a couple of years, but I never had to do anything. It just kind of disappeared away. it's their tiny amount, but you can't really see it at all.
Yeah.
I was lucky with that, but it's just down to the dosages. I remember the max when I was really pushing heavy and hard, trying to slam some weight on, and pushing for that pro card. I went up to, I did like, I think it was 11 or 12,000 milligram a week course. That's the most I've ever done. And I felt like shit. I was bloated. I could hardly put my shoes and socks on. And you know, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. If I ever took more than 250, 300 milligram in one shot, I would get really bad test flu. I'd be ill for 3 days, really feverish, and I just couldn't handle any more than that. My body was rejecting it. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I couldn't physically take any more because I just get ill. And my little brother, he tells me he takes a lot more than what I do. He looks great. He's shredded all year round. He doesn't eat enough to grow, and he's always on fucking gear. But people don't believe me when I tell them my stacks and my courses, and especially when he's half my size, or they're taking 2,000-3,000 milligram and they look like shit. When you look better than them, they don't believe you.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? I think I had this argument with one of my friends because I was eating 6-7 times a day, really struggling getting the meals in. And my friend was upping his cycle every time because we used to start cycles together. And every time we upped the cycle, he's like, he was stuck at 12 stone for 2 years. I was like, you know why though, mate? And he's like, why? I was like, because there's no calories in tren. He's like, what do you mean? I said, it doesn't matter how much you're putting in you, unless you know what I mean, getting those meals in, you're fucked.
Yeah. Boy, you're eating enough, you was growing when you're 10 stone, but now you're 12 stone. You're eating the same food, why am I not growing? It's like, fucking right.
And then he'd argue about his food. He'd be like, yeah, but at dinner today at work, I had an extra 3 chocolate penguins. And I'm like,
yeah.
There's no
like, you get people, I'm eating so much, I can't put weight on. But go through your diet. Well, I have a coffee for breakfast and a fag, because I don't like eating in the morning.
I know where you're going.
And then lunchtime, I had a sandwich and a pack of crisps and a penguin bar. Oh, I just eat non-stop. When I go home at night, I have my tea and I'm always picking and eating chocolate. I'm like, Jesus, you didn't even have one proper meal, let alone fucking 6 of them.
You barely broke 1,200 calories all day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories, but that was clean food, and I really struggled to eat that. That was a lot of food for me. Pushing. I couldn't physically get any more in, and that was eating 7 or 8 times a day. I mean, but it was very clean food. I didn't ever eat shit, but I just made steady gains every year. I could have been bigger than what I was, but I would have force grown. Would I look better? I don't believe so.
You're blowing the lines a bit.
Yes, this is the thing now. People are so impatient. They want everything now. You go back and you look at somebody like Ronnie Coleman. He was phenomenal genetics.
This is so weird because this same conversation me and William have had and me and Patrick have had.
Yeah.
And about Ronnie from when he I can't remember what year it was, but then he came back just fucking twice the size the following year. Is that what you're going with?
Well, no. When he got big, he was like only averaging 4 or 5 pound a year. People are like, what's 4 or 5 pound? What's that? If you can put on 4 or 5 pound of real muscle, that's an extremely huge gain.
Yeah.
I mean, with his great genetics and everything, you think 5 pound of muscle a year for 10 years is 50 fucking pound of muscle. That's ridiculous. That's a person hanging off your back. But I try and explain to people, like, if you get, say, 5 pound of steak, a bag of steak, that's meat. That's a big fucking bag of meat. If you got that meat, that steak, and pull it under your skin where you wanted, you'd look twice the size, wouldn't you? And that's just 5 pound. You fill that meat full of water and glycogen, it's going to double it up and give you a fucking 2 stone. So 5 pound of muscle in a year is huge. But I try and explain to people, I think of your muscle like a balloon. When that balloon is empty, it's tiny and it's flat, it's tiny. When you fill that balloon full of water and it's huge and it's heavy, your muscle's the same. It's still the same balloon. If it's full of water and glycogen, it's going to be big and heavy. When it's got no carbs, it's got no glycogen or water, then it's small and flat. But it's still the same muscle, isn't it? So if it's 5 pound of those tiny little balloons, fill them all out with water, that's fucking huge.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, like people are like, oh yeah, I'll back 2 stone of fucking muscle on in a year. You're like, shut up. Like, Ronnie was averaging 5 fucking pounds, you know what I mean? With his superior genetics on everything, you think you were 2 stone in a year of pure muscle. It's crazy.
On his special D-ball.
Yeah. So, what I was getting at is when people just try to force grow, they're force feeding. So to be able to do this, you've got to be taking huge amounts of gear. And now they're all on fucking peptides and insulin, growth hormones, and all these fucking shit, which is force feeding. So what's that doing? Your stomach's only so big in it. If you're putting massive amounts of food in every meal, it's constantly being pushed from the inside out. Yeah. So you're getting these guys come on stage, ripped with big bubble guts. Yeah. And they got this huge, soft look. And they tend, with all the muscles there, but there's no hardness, there's no granity look. Yeah. Look at
Rami.
Oh, it's got at me. The guy come third last year. Hadi, yeah. Look at his condition. Fucking phenomenal, grainy, hard. That's real muscle. You know what I mean? Most guys, if they got down to that condition, they're losing 2 stone. They look like shit. They don't have that. That's real muscle. When they're just forcing it, they got that bloat. That's all the fucking, I mean, a lot of the kind of, in America, they're using a lot more test-based stuff, so they're holding a lot more water. They got that nice, big, full round look, and it looks great. But you stand next to somebody like Hadi, they're over there, they're using more like trends and mastrons. They got that hard granite look. It makes them look fat. They got no fat on them. They're just holding water. But it's hard to get that kind of condition. I think when people are force growing, one, your body, your system can't cope with that long term. Your body's a machine. If you're overloading that machine, it's going to be a point where it's going to break down. Yeah. So I get asked this a lot, like people saying, where would you be if you got your pro card, blah, blah, blah. I would have pushed harder. I would have pushed more. But being sensible, I could have been a very good 212. If I would have pushed to go into the open league, then there is no way I could stand next to somebody that's 260 pounds. Yeah. I'd have to push my body way past its limits and really, really affect my health, like fuck myself up pushing. You look at somebody like Flex Wheeler in his prime, his genetics are phenomenal. He didn't have to eat that much food to get that big. He's got this tiny little waist. He just fucking grew no matter what. He's hitting the weights hard. He was eating good food. He grew like fuck. If I ate the same diet as he did and did exactly the same, I'd be half the size. So imagine I'm competing against somebody like that. I've got to push my body way past its limits to try and get my body up to that size, which is then going to push my belly out, give me a shit shape. Yeah. Put massive stress on my system for all year round. Probably going to end up getting kidney problems, liver problems, high blood pressure, all kinds of fucking shit. And then you're getting these people that the few pros that have abused it. It's a lot more the amateurs than pros. Most pros are sensible and they've got doctors and they're doing blood work. But some of them push it to the extreme, and then you get these kind of brush them under the table and pretend it didn't happen cases where people have clapped, died, and overfucked on fucking diuretics and all sorts of shit. And
who are you referring to, Dean?
There's many. I'll say more the amateurs more than anything. But say like Dallas McCarver died a few years ago. I mean, if somebody got his drug stack and went on it, somebody healthy took his drug stack and went on it, that'd be fine. If you're 300 fucking pound, 350 pound of muscle on that drug stack, and you're pushing your body to the limits for a long period of time, like I say, your body's machine can only cope with so much. it's going to break down. That's huge stress on your system. And people get obsessed with winning and pushing themselves. I mean, it's great. You need goals in life, and everyone wants to be number one. But you got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand next to Phil Heath. Do you know what I mean? He's a one in a fucking 7.8 billion. Do you know what I mean? There's only one of them. He's got phenomenal genetics. When I met him not so long back, he looked super healthy at that size. You don't have to fucking smack loads of gear and eat to the extreme to be the best in the world. So for anyone trying to catch him up who don't have those genetics, they're going to put huge amounts of stress on their body, and something's gonna fall and break down. So going back to me, it would be stupid for me to try and push and go into the open league, whereas my body could cope being 212.
Yeah.
The very last show I did, I went into PCA and I come in 212 bang on the dot. Again, I messed it up because I put my priorities into other people and not myself. But the worst thing, the biggest mistake in my bodybuilding career is I find it hard to be a selfish person, and you really need to be selfish in that sport to look your very best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the time I was with some girl who was just bad news, and I prioritized her over the competition. I ended up not eating for 2 days, basically. I had you can't be up for a show. I had about...
Sounds like a Disney love story, this is.
It was crazy. I mean, she broke down and she was like 3 hours drive away the night before the show, and I had to drive down for 3 hours, prat around for 2 hours, drive back for another 3 hours. Got in at 4 in the morning. My show's in the morning, like I've had no food, didn't get to eat anything, waiting on her.
You got a penguin.
Fucking stupid. I should have had the penguin, yeah. I would have won. But yeah, that's another story, isn't it? I mean, you want to look your very best, then you've got to be very selfish in bodybuilding, or have a team around you that really understand what you're putting yourself through and help you do it.
I've noticed this with a lot of the people I've been interviewing recently, as they've either got wives that obviously help with the meal prep, like William Bonac. I don't know if you've watched that interview yet. Apparently, he hates eating his meals. He absolutely hates it. His wife will literally go to him on the couch, put his meal under his face, and be like, "William, you've got to eat this meal. You need this last meal." And he's like, "I'll eat it later." And he's like, even in training, his training partner Kendrick, William will be like, "No, we're only doing 4 sets." And his training partner's 10 years older than him. He's like, "No, William, we're doing 5 sets." And then the same with Patrick Moore. He's got his wife. He's obviously got Lee Labrada, and he's obviously got Chris Aceto whispering in his ear also. But I think, like you say, doing things like what you've obviously had to do. Obviously, you've had people giving you advice along the way, but your journey's pretty much been solo, to be fair, hasn't it?
Really, yeah. I mean, I had to learn the hard way. I mean, from my junior times and that. You mentioned Chris Aceto. I was a big fan of his from a young age. That guy Jeff, he put me onto his stuff, and I learned all my basics from his books. I still apply a lot of his basics from years ago now because it makes perfect sense and it works.
Yeah.
But I just learned everything myself. I never had a prep coach after that show. I always prepped myself. I don't believe. I'm
still here.
You're still there, so I don't believe anybody knows my body like I do. Yeah, a lot of these prep coaches, they get these big names because they attach themselves to pros and say, I prepped him and trained him, but that guy was going to look phenomenal no matter what. Yeah, so a lot of these prep coaches, they say, people don't leave me alone. A lot of these preps say, I'm a prep coach and I'll prep you for a show. The first thing they do is put you on this pretty basic diet.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to judge how your body responds. Jesus, they don't leave me alone.
It's
so then,
oh,
God. So it's like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
non-stop, isn't it? I can't have a moment of peace. So, yeah, it's like I put you on this diet, see how your body responds. Oh, these people are doing me head in now. Give me peace, Jesus. And then it's like that didn't respond well, so I'm going to take this out and put that in. The first couple of months of doing this prep is trying to understand what you already knew about your body.
Yeah.
Oh, I get a bit bloated if I eat potatoes, so I eat rice instead. So what they're doing is learning your body, which you already fucking know, and you're paying this guy, God knows how much money, to figure out what you already know about your own body. Some people are like robots; they just like to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I've always been a person that like, if you say do this, I need to know why. I need to understand why I'm doing it. I can't take a Miller Decker. I need to know what the fuck Decker is, how it works, what it's doing to my body before anything goes inside.
Yeah.
And so I like to learn. I like to research. So whenever I prep people, I used to do a lot of PT or prep people, I would make them learn, because I don't want to prep you for the rest of my fucking life. I want to help you and show you so you can do it yourself. But more importantly, so you understand what you're doing and do it safely. But a lot of these guys now, they kind of, you say, why are they like, don't question me. I'm your superior. You're paying me to do this. Do as I say. And that just tells me that they either don't really know what they're doing, so they can't explain it, or they just want your fucking money and they want you to keep paying. So
it's a bit of a power trip for some of them as well, isn't it?
Yeah. The whole industry's fucked, mate. It's
well,
everybody.
I asked William about, because obviously William's coach free now.
Yeah.
Neil Hill.
Do you think, coming away from Neil, do you think he looked worse at the Olympia?
He placed higher.
Looked fucking phenomenal. So
he placed higher. William, I asked William in that interview, I said, because he's not even got a sponsor anymore, he's no longer with USN. So he's essentially a free agent. And I said, how does it feel going from obviously having no coach, no sponsor, to, you know, the situation you're in, placing second? Obviously, he's coming up to the Classic Ohio. And he said, nothing's changed other than the fact that I don't have to send a picture once a week to my coach that he was paying 40% of his earnings to.
It's disgusting, isn't it? I mean, who goes by percentages anyway? It's just crazy. Why would you agree to that in the first place? It's like, fuck that.
No, it's a fixed fee and that's it, year round.
You know what I mean? Oh, don't even get me started on prep coaches, and the whole industry's fucked.
Well, I said one of the questions was, do you think people need a prep coach, or maybe some amateurs coming up that need some sort of process to learn? Yeah. Would you recommend a prep coach then? And he said no, but yeah, if they don't understand what they're doing, but they want to go down the route of being a bodybuilder and learning obviously meal plans, drug protocol, etc., then yeah, he'd recommend it. But he also said on the flip side of that, only you know your body, and with a prep coach, you're sending them your data and the information you already know about your own body. So if you're sending body weight, fat percentage, all the analytics that go with it, you've already got that information. But I suppose it's then utilizing that to what you need to get to the next step.
Yeah, but it's crazy for me. If you're at a fucking really high level and you're competing for a lot of money, and one place can mean a huge difference, then yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? You get somebody that really knows what they're fucking doing, that can maybe tweak you or tell you something that you didn't know, and it's worth it. But for a fucking an amateur with an atrocious physique, who's got hips wider than his shoulders, who's never going to do anywhere in bodybuilding, is convinced that they're going to be the next new thing, they start paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds for fucking generic diet plans where somebody prints it off the internet. There you go.
Copy paste.
You know what I mean? It's disgusting. Like, but not only that, I done my website, Legion. I've been wanting to do that for years. And basically, the reason that I wanted to do that is because of everyone getting ripped off in this bullshit industry. It sickens me to see how many people now are prep coaches and PTs, and they don't have a clue what they're doing. They come in the gym, six months down the road, they do a show, they look like a sack of shit. Then all of a sudden I've competed, so now I'm a prep coach. I'm going to start telling people how to fucking do a show. Give me all your money, because they're lazy fucks. They don't want to work. They enjoy being in the gym. It's an easy way to earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
So to me, they don't know what they're doing. You're just stealing money out of people's pockets, and they're coming to you because they think you know better because you're a PT prep coach. You can't blame them. They don't know any better, so they're going to go by your every word. So one, it pisses me off because you're a thief. You're stealing money out of people's pockets. But what really fucking riles me up is these prep coaches that are putting people on fucking all these kinds of drug stacks that are massively damaging their health. And I know fucking young girls, 16, 17, going into bikini shows, and their prep coach told them to have these 50 milligram anavars and this fucking, oh my God. I know girls have been told to have Trenbolone and test.
I had that the other day. I had a girl message me the other day, and she's 23. She said a prep coach she sent me like a screenshot of the drugs he wanted to put her on for the show that was coming up in the summer. And I was like, this is your first competition? She was like, yeah. I was like, what competition is it? Bikini. And I was like, you don't need 99% of whatever he's put on there, if any at all.
You needed cock for a clit on stage to win the show. Take
basically, that you can see from the back.
with their pose they do, you can see what they've eaten for fucking dinner. So if there's anything dangling down, it's my
favourite pose. I can't deny it. I love it.
Oh mate, it makes me sick. It's like these girls with fucking anorexia on stage. You see every single rib in their body, all 12 pairs of ribs. The legs spread, bent over, and this is the sport. It's a beauty pageant, isn't it? It doesn't matter what their physique looks like. It's who's got the best ass, the best looking face, and the best pair of boobs. You know, I went through a judging panel once, and I said, like, I don't want to be funny. I know what the judge is. I said, how the fuck do you judge a bikini show? And it's an amateur show. Because they all look the same to me. I don't know how to judge it. I know bodybuilding. I know how to judge a physique. How do you judge bikini? And the judge turned around and he went, I don't fucking know. I just picked the one that I'd fuck the most. I was fucking horrified. I was like, you're a judge? Some of these girls are 16, like
technically,
years old.
He is judging them. Just on which one he banged.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. I'm like, this is not fucking a fitness competition at all, is it? It's like a beauty pageant. But anyway, enough of that. So that's what really inspired me.
Back to your website.
Yeah,
I have actually seen your website today. What's it all about? What's going on there?
Yeah, so I'm really horrified of her doing all kinds of fucking shit. So I think, like, if I went down to the local doctors and said to them, oh, I know a few things about fucking medical, can I have a job? They'd be like, what? Where's you fucking, how many years you got to sit in uni to become qualified to be a doctor? Why the fuck is some PT prep coach okay to be prescribing people with drugs that they don't know what they're doing? They're really fucking people's health up and bodies, and having irreversible effects on these women that they don't understand. And there's cases where,
for like me and you, obviously we chose what drugs we were going to take. They weren't exactly pushed on us by our peers, or we'd probably even heard other people take them. That's your own personal choice. But when your coach is saying, no, you're going to take X, Y, and Z.
The coach don't know what the fuck he's doing. I mean, it wasn't so long ago, there was a junior lad, 21 years old. His prep coach put him on all this fucking gear, and he was holding water, so he pushed loads of diuretics at the end. He won the show, proposed to his girlfriend on stage. Next day, dropped down dead. 21 fucking years old. This prep coach disappears off. Nothing to do with me. You just committed murder there, mate. But why is that allowed? Like, nobody's saying anything. And there's shitloads of these going on. I mean, there's
loads from back in the day, because Sean Ray's just called out Chad. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I really don't know what Chad.
A bold statement to say, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Does he know any of that factually? I mean,
the thing is, Chad's already been on Valuetainment. It's just not been released yet. Chad went on the very next day, within 24 hours. He was in the studio giving his side. So it'd be very interesting to see like what comes of that, because obviously, Sean Ray does raise some valid points. Like obviously, he was part of their lives. You know, I think it was 4 or 5 guys. I think he said didn't go to one funeral. Now I don't know what the circumstance was behind any of them. Maybe they were different countries or whatever. I don't know, but it's like you say.
Sean was in the mix back then. He was around with them more. So if anyone knows stuff, he does. But there's 3 sides to every story, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the truth.
The real one. Do you know what I mean? So it's really hard to say, and I don't know if he's fallen out with him or he's got beef with him or what. I don't want to get involved and say
the way I see it. The way I see it, I think at the level that all those guys were at when they passed, they knew. I think they actually knew what they were taking wasn't exactly going to benefit them long term health wise. And I think
at that level, you got to be stupid to think that I can whack all this gear and have no consequence.
Yeah.
As I say, they get stuck in the moment, and some of them will do fucking anything to win. That moment.
Exactly that. And obviously, the young 21-year-old obviously didn't have a clue what he was doing. He was doing it for that trophy. Your phone is very popular, brother. But like you say, when they get to this sort of elite level, and they're all dropping off the map nowadays. You know, we don't go a couple of months without finding out someone else has had kidney replacements, like liver transplants, even CT Fletcher had his heart done. But I don't know. I just can't wait to see what Chad's side of that is.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Sean Ray just doesn't give a fuck. He's like the political Lee Priest, isn't he?
Oh, God. Sean and Lee, back in the day, they did not get on, did they?
I bet they still don't.
No,
I'd love to get Lee on here. We should have me, you, Lee, and Aaron.
I did a pod with Aaron and Lee when he was just over. And we did it live. As soon as we finished, we took it off because some of the things were horrific. Lee was just out of control. Yeah, sometimes he's in a place for mood. He's just out of control. I'm not going to mention some of the shit because we had to just take it off air.
Was it that bad?
Yes.
You should have just recorded it, edited the bits out, and then...
So if we did that, the whole podcast would have been hi and bye. It was horrific, but he's hilarious, mate. It's just sometimes he's out of control, but I wouldn't change him for anything. He's brilliant.
So have you got any plans in the future to ever step back on stage?
I've been having this a lot, and right now, I mean, I never enjoyed competing. Hated it, in fact. I loved pushing myself to the extreme.
Yeah.
I love even the diet, the hell and the shit you go through because you see the changes. I mean, we're going back to that significance thing. I used the training to take over the self-harm and start pushing myself in the gym. I beat myself up in the gym because get that when you win that thing, I felt that significance. Won the British title. It's crazy. Well, I won the British. It was amazing. My mum was like, "Oh, well done." Went to done the Arnold in America. Come 9th in the world. I went, "Mum, I've come 9th in the world." "Oh, never mind, son. You can't win them all." You don't grasp, like, or understand. She just shows a fucking show. Like the local fucking bodybuilding show down the road is saying it was Mr. Olympia or something. It's just unbelievable. So I did it all.
I bet you were like, "Cheers, Mum, thanks."
Yeah. I'm not close with family. I mean, they never support me at shows. My little brother always did. I got him into training, but that's it.
Is that because they don't understand, like, anything?
It's just our family, like, it was very broken from the start. We never had a close family. So I've just always done everything on my own, prep myself, and don't rely upon anyone. You never get disappointed kind of attitude.
Yeah.
It's been hard, but it makes you a stronger person. So it's just been normal to me. It's good that way. So yeah, I'm 14 years of competing. I never enjoyed it ever. And after all of that, I stepped away from stage. And you know, one of the main reasons people say, you hate competing, why did you do it? Because I had nothing going on in my life. I had nothing to aim for, nothing to push to. So that was something that kept me driven. When I go back to when I've won my first show and I had those 4 years off, I got back into martial arts and did a lot more MMA. I was working on building sites in bad crowds. We were out drinking all the time. And it got to a point, I got to like 24, I said, I can't do this. I've got no structure in my life. Yeah. How will I get this back? Go back to bodybuilding. It gave me structure. It kept me away from bad crowds, and just, I don't drink at all now. Maybe one drink a year. I'm very, very health conscious, and I'm all about health and longevity now. And I think the older you get, the more you kind of realize the quality of life. Yeah. So I did all that bodybuilding to keep me focused and keep me on the right track. If I never done bodybuilding, I'd be probably in the cage fighting with my face mangled, or in prison, or in a mental home, one of those three. So it kept me on the right path. I've met some amazing people in the fitness industry and a shitload of dickheads along the way, but decipher them through them and keep the good ones in your life.
I think I'm a dickhead, to be honest.
So I got to a point in my life, I've been with my missus now, like I've had a string of messed up relationships because I didn't respect myself. I didn't believe I deserved better. Yeah. Bad choices, you know, like most people in the fitness industry go with the worst kind of people. Yeah. Like I was dating strippers and stuff, and then a stripper cheats on me and I'm devastated. I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then when you're like, now I'm looking back saying, what do you mean? What did you do wrong? You allowed yourself to go with somebody that, she's a stripper. Her job is to cheat on you. What do you expect her to fucking do? That's what they do. Do you know what I mean? You're a fucking retard or something. You can't. It's like dating a porn star and then crying when she's fucking some guy on the TV. You know that's going to happen, don't you? So make better choices in life. I took 2 years out of dating. I sorted myself. I went through this big change. It's when I met Flex Wheeler, and he had a massive impact on my life. Awesome guy. I was ill at the time. I thought I was dying. I lost fucking like 2 stone in a few weeks. I couldn't eat. It was just vomiting coming out both ends. No, I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. When I finally got into the doctors, they do stool samples, do this. Yeah, yeah. And you ever tried shitting in one of them little tubes they give you?
I have once, yeah.
The things that are big, how does that work? It was disgusting. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. But I managed it. I took it in. I waited a week. I'm dying at this point. I can't eat or nothing. Another week, I go back to the doctors and say, like, what's going on? Oh, we're ever so sorry, sir. We lost your stool sample. Can you do another? Like, don't you think you could bother to fucking let me know, right? I've been sitting
all day, brother.
Yeah, I should have just logged it out on the counter. There you go. So I went back and done this procedure again with this tiny little tube. And then nearly a week later, come in, we've got your test results. And I thought, this is it. Like, I don't know what is going on. My body's shut down. Like, I'm thinking the worst. Yeah, yeah. And all it was some fucking parasites in my stomach that I was just shitting and vomiting. Course of antibiotics. 5 days later, cleared it out. So I'd lost about 3 stone in this time. So during that time, I had no energy. I couldn't train. I couldn't do it. No, and yeah. I was doing some camera work at the time, and I was working with Flex Wheeler. And I was like, my past relationships with strippers and fitness girls and the rest of it, I was at a point in my life where I hated women. I worked as security. I worked in a strip club nearly every night, gay clubs on the weekend, and in gyms every day. my life was surrounded by the worst kind of people in the world.
Yeah.
So everybody in my world was a scumbag, cheating scumbag, horrible. So I hated people. Like, I probably knew 0.0001% of the people in the world, but in my head, all of them are the same.
Yeah.
So at that point, like we was at Body Power, and it's a big fitness convention, and there's all these, well, guys and girls walking around with no clothes on, and they're just like loose everywhere. And we sat there, and everyone walks past with her ass out. I'm like, Dad's looking at her ass. I'm like, you fucking tramp, you disgusting fucking whore. Like, so angry. And Dex is looking at me. It's like, man, you'd get on really well with Lee Priest. You've got some really messed up issues, man. It's like, funny you should say. We get on just great. And we had a few really deep chats, and I just thought this guy back in the day had one of the best physiques on the stage. I looked up to him as being one of the greats ever.
Yeah.
But I didn't like him as a person. I thought he was this arrogant, cocky, like, just like, you're a dick. When I met him years later, he was half the size. He had a great physique. And I've seen the real flex. He told me, like, he was Ken Wheeler. He was this shy, timid boy. And if you know his backstory, he's been through some horrific shit.
Yeah.
I think he came out on London Real and told a lot of it. But he is similar to my backstory, but his was worse. And he was this shy, timid boy. He made this persona. He made Flex Wheeler, this fucking superstar, fucking show-off, awesome guy. And you got to see that show, that part of him that I hated wasn't even real. That was just his stage face. And when he told me his stories, and when he had his car crash, he almost died. And when his kidney disease, he almost died. Every time he almost died, he came back 10 times better person. And I spent a few days with him, and his outlook on life blew me away. So I no longer seen that amazing physique and a shitty attitude. I've just seen a great physique and an unbelievable person.
Yeah. You
Everything
found
like,
obviously he was relatable to you in that way then.
Yeah, it was just what I needed at that time in my life, because I couldn't train, I couldn't do anything, and I've seen his outlook. It made me really think about my behaviours and what I'm doing. And I was like, what do you think about these fucking Instagram dickheads now? Like, never won anything in life, but they're getting all these sponsorships and this and that. Like, it pisses me off. There's real athletes there, and they're not getting shit because of these fucking fake-ass dickheads with their Photoshop pictures. And he was like, that's one way of looking at it, but he's just a guy trying to make money for his family, and he's found a way to do it. So can you blame him? Like, you ain't got nothing bad to say about anyone, have you? Don't even hate somebody.
Just lie to me, Flex.
You can't go through life being like that. And at that point, it set me off. And then in that time, I had a lot of time on my hands because I couldn't fucking do anything. I just really got into learning about my mindset, body-mind connection, and changed my whole look on life. I went through this like a spiritual awakening, if you want to call it that, and it massively changed my life. It changed me as a person. And then I just seen my old behaviors and what I was attracting into my life, what I was allowing. It was like all those years I was letting these women into my life because I didn't think I deserved any better. I see this amazing girl, I'm like, oh, fucking, she wouldn't look at me. Like, she's far too good for me or whatever. So when I started forget everybody, working on myself, when I started becoming a better person, started attracting better people around me.
Yeah. People
wanted to be around me because I was a nicer, better person. And then after I had this thing in my head, like, at first, where I had a expectation when I would hit 30 that I'd have this amazing life, I'd be settled down, I'd have a house, I'd have money, I'd have a family.
Yeah. And
when I got to like 28, 29, I was nowhere near that. And I hit 30 and I hit depression. I was like, fuck, I'm a failure. And then it dawned on me one day. I was like, who the fuck said that I need this, this, and this before I can be happy? my life's fucking awesome. I'm getting to travel around the world, getting to do this, all these amazing things, because I was focusing on what I didn't have instead of focusing on the gratitude in my life. That changed my life. So then when I got to this stage and I changed my whole outlook, I said to myself, like, before I wanted a relationship so badly that I would grab whatever comes along, try and mold it into what I wanted. And that can never work. You can't change somebody. You have to find somebody that matches your morals and your standards, and then you compromise with each other.
Yeah, that's the key thing there, compromise.
Yes.
The thing is, like, you've probably had it where you've probably had a girl that goes to the gym and you go to the gym, and sometimes it works, sometimes those two things, because you're so similar, can actually sort of deflect from each other as well.
You just need to have the same morals. So like I would find, so like if I'm with a girl, I would find it really disrespectful for her to go around telling that guy's hot, liking all these guys. And like, I don't want to sound like a jealous prick. I don't think I'm jealous unless I'm given reason to, because my morals are, I respect that girl and I know her feelings. So if I went for her, that girl's ass, she's not going to like that. Whether she says it or not, she's going to build up insecurities in her head. Yeah. Or if I'm so, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I can't do something and expect her to not do it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I just always seen it like in the fitness industry, everybody, it's like, I've dated girls before, and there's no way I would look at another girl if I'm in a relationship. I massively respect this girl. I'm only with her because I love this girl and I want to make a life with her. If they're there like flirting with every other guy because he's got Instagram followers, or even if they're like, it's just work, babe, we've got to build up a platform, we've got to get followers, so you're posting pictures of your ass all over social media. I don't want to be with a girl like that. So when I took time out, I worked on myself. I give myself this list. I said, my life is fucking awesome being single. I don't ever want or need a girlfriend, ever. And if that never happens, I don't ever find one, this is awesome life, I'm happy. And then I wrote a list of if I find this girl and she's this, and this, I will let her in. But if she's any of that less, then she's not coming into my life, and I don't care because I'm happy. And then what happened? This girl was impossible to find. Then I became a better person. I attracted this girl into my life, and all of this, and this. All it really meant was she's got similar morals to me. So I mean, we really respect each other. So we'd never do anything that would be disrespectful to the other. Yeah. And we can have a laugh. We can. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing now. It took me. I mean, I'm 38 now. It took me 35 years to get to that point in my life where I realised this, and then 2 years out, really needed that.
Was that sort of a big relief for you? Just obviously finding yourself first.
Yeah, I needed
releasing all that pressure of like, I should have a house. I should have, this type of car. My mortgage should be up to this sort of point. And then obviously you've gone, no, actually I've got all these other things going on. These are keeping you morally grounded, keeping you humble, sort of paid yourself a reality check almost. And then once, like you say, the epiphany of, right, I've got all there, you changed within yourself. And then do you think that sort of drew your current partner to you because of that? Because she saw you as a different person, maybe?
If we would have met a couple of years back, she would not have liked the person that I was. I don't like the person that I was. I mean, I always tried to be a good person. I always tried to help people. Yeah. I can see back then. I mean, you go on Facebook and it pulls up shit from 7 years ago. Yeah. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I said that. I did that.
You like, decline. I'm not resharing that.
It's like, my girlfriend, she's awesome. She trains, she's into fitness, but she doesn't like attention. She doesn't want to compete. She just does it for health and herself. She looks awesome. We do our website together, and I'm like, you've got an amazing ass. You need to show that out and do her bums and tums. And she's embarrassed. She's like, no, she won't show bloody flesh or nothing, which I like that about her, but she's a
Yeah.
little too much of anything.
Timid, yeah.
Maybe it comes from a Mauritius background. She's got really good morals, but like I just see her. I forgot where I was going with that. Lost the plot.
You want to get her on the website?
Yeah, because we do the website together, we need to do more. We do a lot of, it's all about giving out information. So you don't got to be there with your ass out or nothing, but we're going to have to do training programs, and nobody wants to see my fat ass. It's going to sound more if we get her doing like a bums and tums program for average women that want to lose a bit of weight.
Yeah.
On this website, we've got everything from complete beginners to advanced athletes. And then it's got all of my knowledge from over the years on there, as well as some of the top best in the world. I mean, we've got Philippe doing an interview, Jay Cutler, Sean Roden, Lee Priest on there. We've got qualified doctors giving us steroid advice, with Dr. Khan doing people's bloods. So everything is about health and fitness to give you the result that you want, but show you in the best and healthy way to do it. I want to get away from bodybuilding more, but that's where I am. So we have to have a big part of bodybuilding on there. But even so, like doing that whole thing, I need to get my missus doing some of the videos and stuff, and I'm getting her to do it, but it's always in a very respectful way.
Yeah.
It's funny because she won't post a picture with her ass out or nothing like that on social media. And when she met me, I'm a bodybuilder, and there's a million pictures of me pretty much naked. And like you see some of the, I mean, the women are atrocious, but some of the guys are even worse. It's just like soft porn, isn't it, on their Instagrams and that. So I was always tried to be respectful, as I'd never post anything in a sexual way to get that kind of attention. It was always strictly bodybuilding. But then she pointed out to me, it's like, yeah, but you stood there in your underpants in the gym. I'm like, yeah, and I'm doing a muscle pose, and I'm getting like fucking 10 gay guys a day messaging me saying, can I do muscle worship? Can I buy your pants? All this horrific shit. I'm like, why do I get all these gay guys after me? No women ever message me. And like, what is it? It's like, well, look here. You stood in your pants. You can see like everything that you've got. You got a bulge hanging out your pants, and you stood there, and you got guys messaging you. What do you expect?
What were you expecting? Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I had this, like, I just sat back and I was like, you know what? You're so fucking right. I had this rule. I would never post anything if I wouldn't walk down the street in public like it. Would I go outside in my underpants? No. Do you know what I mean? If you're on stage in your posing pouch, or you're at the beach in tiny shorts or whatever, that's cool. There's nothing wrong in that. But you wouldn't go into a shopping centre in little pants, would you? You're giving out the wrong impression. I say this about the women. You can post your physique in a tiny little bikini on stage or on the beach. You can wear practically nothing, and it's appropriate. If you're posting pictures in your bedroom, leant over your bed in your lingerie, you can't have a go at guys when they start sending you dick pics, and you know what I mean? You're giving out the wrong signals.
I think the only problem I have with, like, because I couldn't care what anybody posts, to be honest. You choose to see it or scroll past it. But what always makes me laugh is the inspirational quote that goes with it. So it still do the sideways, one leg looks sort of bent, funny.
Pushing it ass cheek out.
Yeah. And then there's some superhero motivational quote. And it's like, just say, I just wanted to show you my arse. Here it is.
Yeah.
Just,
I'd like my hair done. There's a picture of their ass and the little hair at the bottom. And I'm fucking...
Just done arms today. Show me your fucking arms, sweetheart. Or at least tell me what went on in the workout. Okay, you've done glutes. What, can we have some information from that?
It's mental. And when I look at these guys and girls that are like the Instagram fame, and they got hundreds of thousands of followers or even millions, you look at their page, you're like, what am I looking at? It's just pictures of you posting a selfie every day, or your ass.
Yeah.
Or guys in a towel shop, you know what I mean? It's just soft porn. I'm like, why are people following this? And the sheep, now it's like, all they care about is how many followers you got. So I'm going to follow you because you got followers and desperate hope to get some of your followers. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. All I care about is that I might be able to get some of your followers. So I just think this is fucking bullshit. I want to help people. That's the reason I created my website.
Yeah.
But I do so much shit for free on the Instagram or whatever. I do
seen that on your questions all day, every
all
day.
day long. I try and answer people's questions and help them. I hate all the drug questions constantly. I'm really open about talking about drugs, but I'm trying to help people and explain the most important thing is your fucking training and your diet before you even look at steroid. All they want to jump to is how much can I whack, how much train, how much this. So trying to just get out there that health is the most important thing. When I went through my little spiritual awakening, I realized that the most important thing that we have is time. And if we don't have a health, then it doesn't matter how much time you got. It's not worth living.
Yeah.
So time and health is the most important thing we have, isn't it? So I'm so focused on health and longevity now. And you say about, am I going to compete anytime soon? Like I was saying, I competed all those years because I had nothing going on in my life. After going through all this, building this business and meeting Shell for the last couple of years, I have so much going on in my life, and I'm so grateful that I no longer need what I was using that for.
Yeah.
I never enjoyed it. I don't have any intention of competing again. I mean, never say never. I may do sometime. My missus keeps saying, why don't you just do a show? I'd love to see you compete. I'm like, I don't want to put you through the hell of me dieting for a show. You'll probably leave me. She don't understand that bit because she hasn't seen it. She's like, I'll support you. And I've never had anyone support me up to a show and all the rest of it. And it would be nice, but I don't want to put that pressure on anybody else. I see it as if I choose to do that, then it's purely my responsibility. I don't want to put shit onto other people.
If you could pick a show then to get your your pro card, what show would you pick?
See, now it's all gone to pot, innit? So the federation split, and now the only way to get an IFBB pro card is with the Two Bros show.
Mm-hmm.
And they give out something like remember I was saying they give out one pro card for the whole year in the UK. Now they're just giving them out to anyone. They give out something like 150 fucking pro cards in one show or something.
But then you can put IFBB Pro in your Instagram name.
This is all it is, isn't it? It's a massive money-making scheme. These guys are fucking bumming off the fact that they can do that because it makes their Instagram look good and they get extra followings because I'm an IFBB Pro. And the IFBB Pro are loving it because they're raking it in because every fucking one person who turns pro has to pay the fucking IFBB £250 just to renew their pro card every year. Yep. And then if you're a shit pro, you're never going to win anything. You're never going to do anything against real pros. So what are you going to do with that card? Nothing. You're just giving them money. They give out, even if they give 100 people, and 100 people, £250 a year, that's a lot of fucking money. And that's just from one show.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So now when people say, why don't you just do a Two-Bro show? Because I don't see any glory in it. It's so watered down now. It's ruining the sport, but if anything, it's bigger than ever because they're making shitloads of money. There's a lot more people in it, but the quality of athletes are getting massively watered down.
Okay, food for thought. Food for thought. Let's say you did that show. Doesn't matter who you beat, you get your pro card. What's coming in 2021, Dean, to the UK?
No idea.
Arnold Classic. Arnold Classic is coming in 2021. Been signed and sealed with Eddie Hall and Arnold.
This is how much I know about bodybuilding now.
This is like a week old now, Dean.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I don't follow bodybuilders on Instagram unless
I sort of have to, mate.
Oh,
Some of them I don't even like to follow,
yeah.
I'll be honest, but I have to just in case something happens.
Yeah. Even some of my friends or whatever, I don't follow the women or they're like, well, I follow you. Why don't you follow me back? I said, because I don't want to see the shit that you post.
I
I just say it to their face, like, I don't want to see pictures of your ass or you in a fucking towel, your dick hanging out. Like, my Instagram's cool. I see photography and art and these really cool things, landscapes and shit, things around the world. It inspires me. That's what I want to see. Not some fucking tramp ass. Oh, I'm ruthless.
Fucking hell. So what have you got planned for? What have you got planned for this year, then, brother? What's going on the rest of the year?
Well, I mean, my missus, she has her own business called Bourgeois, doing photography, video photography, mainly weddings, but all sorts. So she spends a lot of time doing that because it's her own company. But also we run the Legion together. So it's just, you know, at the minute it's shit because I've learned how to edit videos and I fucking hate it. It's so time consuming. It takes my life. It's bullshit. So we're working on.
While you're saying that, just think how long we've been on there, and I've got to edit this.
Oh yeah, you're not going to cut anything out, is it? You're just going to chop.
I am going to just straight upload it. I'll just put the title that I did on everyone else's, raw and uncut, which basically means couldn't be asked to edit.
Yeah, that's what I do. And if somebody says something bad, and it's their fucking problem, and you got to deal with the consequence. Take responsibility for your action.
It's it.
Yeah, so I'm making all the videos and I mean, I write for the Beef magazine, so I do a lot of articles, even though I can't spell for shit. They have to try and siphon it and put it into English. I've got the knowledge in here, but I can't put it into it. I should do, shouldn't I?
Dictate, yeah, because you can have it dictate to text. There's an app.
Yeah, but the problem is I can't talk properly either, so it doesn't understand what the fuck I'm saying. It just comes up with gibberish.
Google Translate.
That's what I need, yeah. I need a PA or just somebody, a typist, to follow me around. The knowledge is there, but I do all these articles for the website, and then my poor missus has to go through them all and put them into English and create them. And we're just so busy creating and making the videos. So my goal is, she wants to come away from the videography more and put more into the Legion because it's got huge, huge potential. We'll be able to help a lot of fucking people and hopefully stop people getting ripped off or fucked over with their health. But the plan is to really build Legion. We're working on a revamp at the minute where it's going to be much better. Get an app out there so you have like a PT in your pocket and recalculates your calories every week. Tells you exactly proteins, fats, carbs for you. Because these fucking bullshit generic diet plans that piss me off, we're going to tailor this. So it's going to ask you a series of questions all about you. Your body types, how much fucking calories you're burning, all kinds. The more questions we can ask about you, the more it's going to personalize it to you. And then every week it's going to ask you if you've met your goals. Is
this going to be like a free app or subscription based, or
probably just like a one-off pay app or maybe subscription? I don't know. It's going to cost a lot.
Unless you have levels to it, maybe. So have like your basic one-off 99p and then a premium.
Yeah,
where they actually
something like that, or Legion members get it for free or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the plan is to get that personalized, so every week it recalculates and keeps everything. I mean, at the minute on the site, it's just rammed full of information. And then I say, at the minute, it's not massive. I can cope. I just say, if there's anything that's not on the site or anything you don't understand, message me personally, and I'm happy to go through it all. So I spend a lot of time doing that at the minute.
Yeah.
But I like doing that because then if you do message me, that tells me that I need to get that on the site.
Yeah.
So it's all good feedback. So eventually I want to have enough there so nobody ever has to ask me a question.
Yeah. Everybody that's messaging, it's a point of sale as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Customers through your door, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So I mean, for people who are members, I'm happy to help them as much as they need. So if you ask me a question like, I don't know, I want to lose this fat, I say, okay, have you looked at the fat loss article? No, we'll go and look at that because it's got everything you need to know about fat loss. So then if they've gone through the article and then they're still not sure, then I'm happy to go through it with you and give out my advice. So the point being is, if you do have to come back to me, then I know I have to either simplify it or put more information on there.
Yeah.
So the goal is to just keep building that. We're going to revamp it, get the app out. I want to keep my missus's company running, but the plan is to build them both so we can actually build a team, get editors on board, free up time for ourselves so we can just keep growing it, and then start getting around the country, around the world more, and reaching with more athletes. The plan is I've got some good friends in America. We're going to spend a bit of time with them while we're out there, try and connect with like Flex Lewis and Flex Wheeler and a couple of the guys, and get more content. It's an excuse to just fucking call it work. It's an excuse to get out there and do something cool. So that's the plan, is just keep growing that and just fucking help people.
Okay, well, what I'll do, brother, I'll put the link in the description for your website, your Instagram also, because that's probably your main sort of point of contact is probably Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, I only have the Instagram and the Facebook, but to be honest, I don't go on the Facebook. It's just linked. So a lot of the shit, everything I put on Instagram goes to
over.
Facebook.
Yeah, mine's the same.
I don't even look at it. You're limited to people. I've got the athlete page, but I don't use it. So, man, if people need to get hold of me, Instagram's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to sign off with then, brother?
I could chat shit all night, and I could really go into the health side of things, but
I'm gonna have to do this in like 8 parts.
Yeah. I think we covered all the bases. I could talk for hours about any one subject, but I think we've hurt enough ears on this. Most people will be asleep by now.
For those that don't know, the plan is to get Dean back on with Dr. Tony Huge. I have reached out to him. I'm waiting for him to give me a time back. So if we can get Dean back on, I've spoke to Dr. Khan. He's very interested in coming on because he's got a lot of topics he wants to touch on with Dr. Tony Huge. He was even sending me articles.
Yeah. So I chatted with Dr. Khan today.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's well up for this.
So this is the thing. I think Tony Huge will definitely do it because he does love the drama and he does love the attention. And I don't even think he's going to watch this video, which would be interesting. So if we can get that set up, I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah.
I will pretend to play devil's advocate in that one. I'll just let you battle it out.
It'd be very interesting.
100%.
But we got Dr. Khan's dedicated his whole day today pulling out pages of research and people's bloods, and
has he?
He's in on this.
Oh, he's ready for war, isn't he?
Yes, and honestly, I don't know a guy that can really go into this better than what he can, and he has all the facts and fucking pages and years of research. So it should be good.
We bring like a head guard and gum shield for a podcast.
Oh yes. Look for a row as well, you know. He's been through the wars. He's a good guy. He keeps it on the low, but he travels around a lot, like doing charity things and going to countries and building houses, paying a lot of money out of his pocket to help kids and shit. He's a good guy.
Meet him.
Yeah, I mean he's got like, all kinds of shit, gun wounds, stab marks, and all shit. He's been through the wars, and all he wants to do is help people. He's a good human. There's not many of them in the world.
True, very true, very true.
When I find one like that, I try and cling on and keep them in my life. There's not many of them around.
There should be.
He's a good guy.
Good quality people in your circle. So, Dean, thank you so much, brother, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been now. It's a couple hours at least, isn't it?
Is it midnight? We started at 12 in the afternoon, didn't we?
I'm going to have 4 more meals, catch up, and a penguin.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? I had a pre-workout earlier, and I cut my training session short, so I'm chatting shit because of pre-workout. 35p
Euro shop.
Awesome. Oh, I can imagine the taste of that.
Bro, it's sugar-free. Look how...
I was trying to be good and just for the camera having my lemon water.
Oh, party 5 a day there, brother. And then I'm going to eat my...
Oh, my God.
Clean eating, brother.
I definitely should have went in on the biology and the cells and the shit. And, oh, man. Next time.
Oh, God. Right, I'm just going to wrap this up.
Yeah, that's why them crystals done to your body. You're dying.
I haven't even asked them yet. They're sealed. So, again, Dean, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome.
If anybody has got to this point watching this podcast and still alive, all his links are in the description. I'll re-record an intro to make them aware all your social medias are in the description, because I don't know if anybody's actually going to get this deep into this video.
Passed out or dead.
Fell asleep to it. Oh, I love that video. Yeah, how far did you get? 10 minutes, gone.
Yeah, max.
So again, Dean, thank you so much for coming on, brother. We'll get the Dr. Tony Huge one set up as soon as possible.
Awesome.
And that will be interesting. Peace.